I'll be happy to re-engage with you after. Hi there. We're live streaming. Are you okay being recorded and broadcast? YouTube and Facebook, and I think we have about 20 people watching. Sure, have a seat. Hi there. We just wiped those. Yes, we just wiped those. So they should be alcohol clean. And we're very monaural, so if you get it on the backs, you won't notice the difference.
Perfect.
So, what's your name?
My name's James.
Hello, James. I am Dali, D-A-L-I, and I would like to do street epistemology with you.
Sure.
In this, did you have one of those questions or suggestions that
I'm open to any.
Okay, you're open to any of, and it can be anything else. So those are just 6 suggestions. Is there something that you believe is true in the world that you'd like to have us examine?
How about the morality of eating meat?
Okay. So what is your claim that it is moral or not moral to eat meat?
Depends on the context.
Okay.
So, for example, we live in a modern world where we have grocery stores, supermarkets, and people sharing their knowledge on YouTube.
Okay.
And I don't think it's in this current time morally acceptable.
Okay. What is the moral downside of eating the meat?
Well, everyone knows now with the whole factory farming being exposed, it's unethical treatment of animals.
Okay. Was it ethical before? I'm talking about before the modern day. Why was it ethical then and not ethical now?
Because it was necessary to survive.
So it was justified, like lesser of evils then, and no longer justified.
Right.
Okay. How much of this is about the way we treat them specifically in factory farms versus like maybe the old ways of agriculture? Does that matter?
Oh, I see.
Does that affect the question, or is it simply that we're raising animals to just kill them at the prime of their life? And
I mean, I think I can acknowledge that the other way you mentioned, like traditional farming, where they treat them better and they have a better life. I mean, yeah, I can acknowledge that, but at the end of the day,
would that matter?
At the end of the day, I would consider that still unjustified.
Okay, so in the modern day, if somebody were to have a boutique kind of farming that treated the animals really well, like zoo animals are treated, maybe give them a really nice environment and give them a reasonable lifespan, and then would that be more moral, less moral, or just the same?
It'd definitely be more moral, but it's still not justifying their murder.
Okay, so it's more moral but not moral enough. Okay,
something like that. Yeah.
Okay. When did our justification for eating meat cross over that line?
I guess with the invention of agriculture and transportation.
Okay. So when we started planting enough grain to eat, we should have stopped hunting the animals.
Right.
Okay. So prior to written history, maybe. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So what did you learn that led you to this conclusion?
Well, like, how did I discover this perspective?
I'm assuming that at some point you were neutral about the question, and then you came to this idea.
I would have considered myself like anti-vegan.
Okay.
Yeah, like very against it.
So in the past you were anti-vegan.
Yeah,
okay.
Definitely.
And now you're so what shifted you? What was the thing that convinced you, or maybe what were the things? Because maybe it wasn't one reason.
I mean, I saw a lot of documentaries and interviews and presentations and things like that.
Okay,
And
so these were people that had that opinion, and in their expression of the opinion, you were convinced.
Yeah, in a way.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a new, just a new perspective that I never even conceived of.
Were you moved by their opinions and perspective more, or were you moved by the facts that they brought that you didn't know about?
I would say the facts.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely the facts.
And those facts are about the way we do farming, or maybe about the life experience of the animals.
It involved that, but it wasn't just limited to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, any others that would be compelling to me? I'm open to this.
Yeah.
It would be personally very difficult in my life to go vegan.
Right.
But I'm open to the ideas of it.
What do you think makes it hard?
In my case, I'm pre-diabetic and carbohydrates are difficult. So I have to get I have to keep my carbohydrate load to like less than 10% of my calories.
Right.
And that's very difficult in a vegan diet.
Yeah, I understand that. You'd have to do a lot of research and maybe even hire like a nutritionist.
I'm interested. Is there a way for me to get sufficient? Is there a way for me to have a very high protein, very high fat,
I'm sure there
very,
is.
very low carbohydrate
Unfortunately,
diet?
I'm not a nutritionist.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think so. I think there's a lot of stories like yours that they get help from nutritionists and people who actually know the science behind nutrition.
Okay. Well, if any of you out there know about this, I'm pointing at the camera here. Pointing at this camera. If any of you out there know of a way that I could manage to be vegan and still have a very, very low carbohydrate diet, I would be interested to learn about that. So please send that to me. Okay. Let's see. Hypothetically, okay, confidence.
Mm-hmm.
If this is you are absolutely certain that vegan is moral, and here you would your diet has no moral impact at all. Where would you find yourself on this scale?
I would say all the way to the end.
All the way to the end. Is there a sliver of doubt?
No doubts, but I am open to evidence appears or things change. Yeah, I'm open to being unsure about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could you give me an example of something that would collapse your doubt in half, maybe make you a little more certain? This is something you don't know now. Obviously, I mean something that it isn't necessarily true, but it's the kind of thing that would make you more sure that being vegan is a meaningful, significant moral issue.
If they can prove that animals aren't sentient.
That would be the other way. That would increase your doubt, right?
Yeah, that would increase my doubt.
Okay, I'm looking for the other one. I was going to ask that one next. So no, I was going to ask that one next. So you just answered out of order. What would increase your confidence and reduce your doubt?
What would increase?
Yeah.
If animals were able to communicate.
Okay. If animals were able to communicate, that would give you insight into their perspective and more certainty that their perspective needed to be considered morally.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then the down was I'm forgetting.
No, you're good. I think I said that if they could prove that animals weren't sentient.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know of an animal do you know of a thing that's alive that is not sentient?
Yeah, plants.
Okay, so plants not sentient.
No.
How about the yeast in my beer? I can't actually do beer, but you know what I mean.
Yeast is it fungus or bacteria?
A single-celled animal, but
I'm not sure if they classify bacteria as a living thing.
Okay. So single-celled stuff might not be living.
It might not.
But yeah. I think the answer is not sentient.
Not sentient.
Okay, ants. I'm looking for where the line is. I'm just going to start climbing up the ladder.
I think they have very little sentience.
Okay, ants may have tiny sentience. Puppies,
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
kittens.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Cows.
Definitely. Yeah.
Dolphins.
Dolphins, extremely.
Okay.
Yes.
All humans.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
not all humans. There
Okay.
are like disabled.
Yeah, there's some people
humans.
who maybe have never achieved consciousness and that kind of thing, but if they have consciousness, they probably end up having sentience, at least after some amount of, wow, what is
a lot
this
of gray
place?
areas.
Yeah. I could be very much convinced that below 6 months old, maybe humans don't have sentience, but that depends on how you define it. Well, yeah, we're almost out. Thank you very much for this conversation.
Thank you.
I've enjoyed it. I don't want to hide behind neutrality. Do you want to ask me any questions about my position? I've been trying very hard not to argue from an alternative.
No, yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'd love to know your position.
Okay, and okay, I already disclosed. I end up eating a very high meat diet, and it's because I have to eliminate carbohydrates almost completely from my intake.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, because I can't control my blood sugar anymore. So if I had an alternative, then I could look at it, but I think I'm in the same category as those people before agriculture. I don't really have a choice. I think you might cut me enough slack to say I'm justified, but I'd be happy to let you tell me that, however you see it.
I mean, I do what you got to do to survive, but I would have you a question now. If you found an alternative that didn't involve carnism, would you take it? If it helped with your particular situation.
If I could handle it nutritionally and health-wise, that's number one. The second would be that the cost could not be more than 2 or 3 times my existing cost because I couldn't afford it. Then I would give it a try and see if my health was happy with it.
Okay.
I like animals. I have pets.
That's good.
I really, I am firmly convinced that pig is as smart as a dog.
Even
and
smarter.
I like dogs and cats. Yeah, I'm firmly convinced that they're at least as smart as a dog and a cat. And so, oh, and by the way, I'd have no trouble at all eating dogs and cats.
Oh Lord. How do you?
Well, I also eat chicken, and my favorite pets are chickens.
Oh wow.
So I'm obviously, really stuck in a weird moral quandary. I am self-conscious when I eat chicken in front of my chickens.
Oh,
they don't seem to care.
That's...
But I'm not accounting for their moral perspective necessarily. And I would actually prefer that when my pets die, I can't really arrange this. This is inconvenient. But if my pets died of something that didn't spoil their meat, I would think the most honoring thing is to have them eaten by somebody who didn't know them.
That's how you see it?
Yeah. I'm not into cannibalism for prion disease reasons, but I would rather have my body, for example, eaten by animals so as not to waste my food.
I see.
Rather than my body disposed of. Now, I'm donate my organs, medical research, those all get priority. And then I do not want to be burned or buried. I would much prefer just to be fed to something. Because I think that is a better way to be put back into the biosphere, and it serves some kind of life for a while.
Yeah, that's how you see it fit. And
that's the same thing I would have for my pets. Now, I don't want to kill them. I love my pets. I want to keep them around as long, but actually, I do kill my pets. When my pets are sick, I don't want to extend their life in a pain cycle, and I will end their life when the next few weeks of their life would be really unpleasant, and they have a low probability of recovering from it. I had to put down one of my favorite kitties last December for that reason. And so I thought about this a bit, and and it's the honoring thing. It's the deal I would want to make with her. It's the deal I would want her to make with me.
Right.
If she was making that choice. No.
Unfortunately, we can't communicate with animals.
Not that I'm aware of. I have some, at a small level I can.
Yeah, of course.
But I can't, but it's more like, I
like
offer you a treat.
Yourself.
Do you want it? It's about like that. Or giving them feedback when they do something I like. if my birds jump on my shoulder, I give them lots of positive feedback because I like that behavior. But how communicating is that? It's a little.
Yeah.
I'd like to offer you one of those puzzle pieces. It's either green and blue or yellow. You can choose. I named those wrong. Red, yellow, blue. Yeah. And that's for, you can take that with you. And that's a.
Thank you.
If you want to come back for more conversation, it's an obvious bribe to have you come back for more conversations.
Yeah, totally. This is going to be like
we'll squeeze
a symbol of my experience here.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you.